Hello, welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment capital of the world. And welcome to our show. We have with us none other than Councilwoman Victoria Seaman and my co-host Shelly Stevens. And we're going to be talking a little bit about Victoria Seaman, who's running for mayor of the city of Las Vegas.
Correct.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about yourself, a little background. Are you a councilwoman now in Ward 2 here in Las Vegas?
That's correct. I've been on the council now for 5 years.
5 years.
And I spent 2 years in the Nevada State Legislature.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now here you're running for mayor, and I hear a lot of good things about you. What's going on with your ratings? You're doing pretty good. And you had a debate last night?
We had a debate last night.
You and your opponent?
One of my opponents. We're in the lead, both of us.
Yeah.
And I'm just leading a little bit slightly.
And one of the opponents is Shirley Berkeley?
Yes.
Who else?
And, well, we're the two in the top.
Two at the top.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
And we have another debate coming next Wednesday, and it'll be with the top three.
Well, you guys might need a referee. I might have to come in there.
I think after last night, we're going to need a referee.
Well, Shelly, then we got Shelly. Shelly is my co-host, and Shelly's been involved in entertainment business herself. Shelly, tell me a little bit about what's happening with you in your career in the entertainment field.
Well, we were on cruise ships for 23 years. I first started out with Norwegian Cruise Lines, and then we did Royal Caribbean, and then Norwegian was bought out by a company in Asia, so we went to Asia for many years. We were based in Singapore. And so now we're working here in Vegas, and we have, let's see, what we have coming up? We have so much stuff.
You got the Sterling Club?
Yes, the Sterling Club is on June 22nd. We're also a regular at Lola's, which is a New Orleans restaurant. It's Summerlin. We're there usually on Saturday nights. And, we have a Motown and More show coming up on Tuesday night at the German American Club. So we just perform for everybody. Everybody's calling us lately. We're also doing private parties at senior citizen homes and things like that. So,
keeping you busy.
Great. Yeah.
Well, you viewers out there, you wonder why I picked Shirley to be my co-host, because she brings so much talent, so much. I like her energy that she brings in and with what's happening in her field. But most importantly, right now, our show today got to do with Victoria Seaman, who's going for the knockout win against Shelly Berkeley. And so tell us a little bit more about yourself. You've been in the political arena for how many years now?
Well, again, I have 5 years in local government and 2 years in the state legislature, and I got to tell you, I really prefer local government because it's where the rubber meets the road, and you can actually get things done. You don't have caucuses, you don't have parties, and you can actually represent the people, and that's why I love it so much. And I decided to run for mayor because I have a proven record of bold leadership and taking on those issues that no other politicians will take on. And I have a reputation for not kicking the can down the road. Okay, so that's why I decided to run for mayor.
Okay, well, that's one thing that I was going to ask you. What changes do you plan to make? I know you've been doing so much already as a councilwoman, but what are your plans on the horizon? What changes can you make that's not happening right now?
Well, public safety is number one, and I'm so proud to have been endorsed by all the law enforcement in Nevada. I'm the only mayoral candidate that the entire state law enforcement agencies endorsed, and I think it's because I really do work shoulder to shoulder with law enforcement. As you know, Joe, we have nearly 60 million tourists coming in a year.
Right.
So we need to make sure that we're working with them and giving them the tools they need to keep them safe, our residents safe, and also themselves. So I'll continue to do what I've been doing with public safety. Affordable housing, workforce housing, there's a lot more work to be done. We're offering all kinds of incentives to builders so that they will take on, maybe adding to some of the units when they do an apartment building or whether they do whatever kind of building they're doing, that they'll take a percentage of that and they'll move it into workforce/affordable housing. And I really love that we're doing that because people always say, not in my backyard. Well, you know what? If we're doing a building and having mixed use, then it's not like there's affordable housing because no one would know what units are affordable housing. So I think we're doing amazing things, and I'll continue to work on that. Economic diversity is very important.
It is very much so. So,
Absolutely. And, I was going to say, being on cruise ships around the world for so many years, we try not to discuss like politics, race, things like that on board because everybody comes together to have a good time and travel. We talk about food, and I always sing a song in our show. It's called The Prayer by Andrea Bocelli
I
and
love
Celine
that
Dion.
song.
That's one of our favorites,
I love
too.
that song.
We always sing that like at the closing of our show. And we always dedicate it to everybody on the ship. And we show them like, we can live together as one here on this cruise ship. Why can't we do that in the whole world? And we always say that at the end of each show. So I have friends who are Democrats, Republicans, Independents, all of them. So tell us why you think, people could cross parties and just vote for you. What can you give us that's different,
Well, what I've given them, and I won my reelection in 2022 with 55% of the vote. I think we had 6 opponents. And so I didn't have to go to November. And I attribute that to, first of all, you can't do it alone. So I've hired an amazing team, my chief of staff and my other 2 assistants. I hire people that care about the community as much as I do so that we get things done. When people call my office, we don't know if they're a Democrat or a Republican or a nonpartisan, and guess what? It doesn't matter.
That's right.
And what I love about local politics is that we don't have caucuses. One party doesn't control because they have a majority. I think that system is terrible because you have if you have a one-party rule, then you're really not taking care of everybody. You're not having that debate which needs to happen to get good legislation done. On the city council, we represent our constituents, and we don't have to do what our party wants or the caucus wants because we just don't have that. And that's why I love local government. And like your cruise ship, I feel like that's our cruise ship where everybody works for the people. Mm-hmm. And that's the way it should be because I don't know what party people are, and that's how I cross over.
But one thing is that you're going to be the captain of the ship.
Yeah, that's right. and the captain of the ship can bring everything together.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I really believe that. And so I'm really excited about moving up to mayor. If elected, if I'm fortunate enough. I think that the constituents deserve a mayor who cares about the quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about quality of life, I've been looking around. I've been here for 32 years myself, originally from New York. And I see that there's a lot of homeless here in Vegas. And we have a lot of military, a lot of veterans that are homeless.
Right.
What do you think we can do to kind of improve the living of those individuals? I feel kind of sorry that whether you're a veteran or just a regular person, there's a lot of individuals coming to Vegas. They think they're going to make a lot of money. They think it's a quick start for them, especially youngsters. And then they all end up homeless in the street. What can we do to improve that lifestyle that they have?
So we do have a lot of that in Vegas, but most of the people on the street are suffering from mental health issues or addiction. Yeah. And the city has taken on a lot. Mm-hmm. We have the Corridor of Hope, which is a facility where we bring people for wraparound services, and it's shelter. And we've done many things since I've been there in 2019. Now it's time, and Governor Lombardo is doing that. He's replicating what we did, which was the Haven for Hope in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. That is how we started the Corridor of Hope. But it wasn't big enough to take in everybody from the county, from North Las Vegas, all of Southern Nevada. It's the city supporting it. So the beauty is that Governor Lombardo is putting in $100 million with the casinos, $100 million, and doing a big state facility. Yeah. I think it's great.
I had spoken to him about that a while back when he was campaigning for governor. And that's one of the questions I asked him during one of those campaign events. What are you going to be doing for the homeless? He did mention about there's a lot of mental issues and addiction to drugs or whatever, and that's one of the things that, I was maybe because I'm a veteran myself, I was saying,
Thank you for your service. Yeah, which branch?
The Army.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I was stationed down in Fort Hood, Texas. Did my basic in Fort Dix, New Jersey, my advanced infantry training in Fort Hood when I was 18 years old. That's a couple of years ago. So Go
I
ahead.
think that's great. And one thing I love about her already, because we just met, but her personality, like she's so warm.
Yes.
And just like what I was saying about, it doesn't really matter like what party you stand for, who you vote for.
Right.
It's about the person. And when you
Exactly.
make a connection with somebody, because when we were young, we didn't have all the dissension that we have now about like political parties and things like that. You know, whoever became president, you respected the president, you know, and what he was doing, or, you know, one day it'll be a she, maybe you, you know, so, and just getting to know you, you know, I feel it doesn't really matter, like you said, about what party, you know, it's about what you're bringing to the table. And so far, I like everything that you
Thank
said.
you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. And the other thing I want to say about homelessness, besides that, is we did a camping ban. And if we have the facility that you can stay at and the wraparound services, you can't camp out on somebody's business. Henderson followed suit with us. And really, that was a twofold. It wasn't just to make people move off public-private property, but it was also so that we could get them to those services.
Right.
Now, we can't force people to take services, and a lot of people won't. They like to be... They will continue with their addiction or what have you. But the more times that we can send our MORE team, it's called the MORE team out, to have them move along and talk to them and offer those services, there's chances we can eventually get a person in.
But now, those individuals that are suffering from mental issues, well, what can we do with them? I mean, they don't understand it because they're not 100%. They don't have a full deck.
And we can't force them. That's the problem.
So what can we do for them?
Well, we do offer the services, and we try to get them services. And sometimes when our MORE teams go out or Metro goes out and can offer them that, because we don't want to put them in jail.
Right.
We want to get them help. So the nice thing is with that camping ban, we can send Metro or the MORE team out and say, hey, you're trespassing. We don't want to take you. You want to come to the shelter. And then we have social workers there that can get them the services that they need. I mean, the problem is we can't force them.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're right, some people don't even know that they have mental health issues, but we do.
Yeah.
But you can't force them, but we can continue to keep trying, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the beauty.
Yeah, you'd have to have Catholic charities. I went there one day, and I went there to talk to some of the individuals, and it was so sad to see. I was happy to see a lot of them there, but it's so sad because as soon as I left our location, down the street, they're all sitting on the sidewalk, little camping, little tents, sitting out there. And it breaks my heart to see that because I'm always thinking about the veterans, you know.
Yeah, of course.
All the veterans, but everybody's involved in it, not only veterans. There's so many individuals, and it's so sad to see that. And that's why I'm hoping that we get somebody like yourself. You say you care about, you have a program in place now.
Yes.
As a councilwoman, you kind of basically been working, but you want to enhance that
Of course.
to another level, right?
And I want to work with the governor on what he is doing to replicate what we're doing, because that will be an amazing facility to accommodate more people, and that's what we need.
Now they have Veterans Village out there on Las Vegas Boulevard near Charleston. What can you tell us about that location?
I love Arnie Stock.
Arnie Stock.
I really do. He's the one who runs that facility, and I think he does an amazing job.
Yeah, he does.
And he has helped so many people get their benefits so that they can have a place to stay.
Right.
And I have brought food there, I've brought water there, I've helped him out wherever I can. And I can tell you this, I love helping charities that are helping so many people.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
Yeah, I have one of the rooms there on the ground floor that I helped sponsor when they first started out.
Great.
So Arnie Stark is a good man.
He is a good man.
He's a good man, and he's a good individual that always willing to help out. He got a great son and beautiful wife. They're always out there
Absolutely.
helping so much. But yeah, Arnie Stark is good. I'm glad you mentioned his name because I got to give him a call soon. I haven't spoken to him
He's
in
a
a while.
good man. Very good.
Yeah,
There's so many wonderful people in this city.
There are a lot of individuals, but I'm glad that you're the one that's running for mayor, along with Shelly Berkeley. Let's see what's going to happen. It's going to be like the Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali. The Trill in Manila, they're going to be the Trill in Las Vegas. The Trill in Las Vegas, and I'm going to be the referee, going to have outdoor Caesar's Palace.
Okay, which one won?
I say the better man wins.
No, I meant of the fight. Is that the fight coming up?
No. But
That was way back.
That was when Muhammad Ali fought Joe Frazier. But Joe Frazier was not able to continue after, I think it was the 12th round.
So it was Muhammad.
And Muhammad Ali.
So just call me Muhammad.
Undisputed champ.
Muhammad.
Anyway, you guys know that I put these shows on because I care for people. I care for people. I tell you guys that are watching the show and caring and giving and paying it forward. That's what we're all about here at this show, the Joe Cortez Show. And I just want to continue to ask you some more questions because I'm going to let you off the hook that easy. I met your beautiful daughter the other day at a luncheon. Can you tell us a little bit about your daughter, what she's doing these days?
Oh, she's amazing. Well, she goes back and forth from France to here. She's got a base there because she's married to a French national.
Right.
And I dragged her here from France to help us finish out this campaign because she's amazing. As you know, you met her, and she's so excited about the campaign, and she is working as hard as I am. So I'm pretty excited to have her here.
Now you have your public relations individual. You have a gentleman that's here. He comes to the office. He comes to every location you go to. He tells a little about what he does for you.
Well, I have a lot of staff and consultants working both on the campaign. I have some that work in my office. But I have an amazing team both on my campaign, and you have to have that in your office because in your office, those are the first point of contact. And so, again, I hire people that both on my campaign and in my office that care as much about people as I do.
It's like a family, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's good to have people that are working with you because, nowadays you want to have somebody you can trust and you know that they got you covered all the time.
Absolutely.
No matter what.
Yeah.
And you got very professional individuals. I've spoken to a few of them already. And I'm so glad to see that you're doing the good things that we need here in Nevada, and especially in the city of Las Vegas.
I love this city.
Yeah. I met Oscar Goodman, who was a mayor before, and his wife, Carolyn Goodman, is a mayor now, and she's about ready to retire. This is her last term, right?
This is it.
What is it? And then November is the election?
Yes. Well, June is the primary. The top two go to November unless somebody pulls it out with 50% plus one.
Uh-huh. So we're looking for that, eh?
Well, we're looking for that, but there's a lot of people in the race. It's like 15 people that are running.
Yeah.
Of course, there's only a couple of us in the lead, and one of us is going to be mayor, but you still have a lot of people until the race is over in June, and then we go to November.
Wow. I like what you said about teamwork because my husband and I say the same thing. Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's
and
right.
It's so
I like
important
that.
to have a good
I'm going to
team.
steal that from you.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. No, I like the fact that you were talking about it because we had the same thing, and I consider Joe to be a part of our team.
Oh.
When we met Joe, it was like love at first sight because my husband is like the biggest boxing fan ever. And I always tell the story about when we first met. It was at a restaurant, and when Joe walked in, and my husband was sitting opposite me, facing the door, and this look came over on his face, like he turned pale. And he's like, and I'm like, what's wrong? Are you choking? Are you having a heart attack? He's like, no, look who just walked in. And I'm looking at the door like, okay, who? He goes, that's Joe Cortez. And I'm like, okay, who's that? He goes, I told you. He's like the Hall of Fame boxing referee. And he was so excited. So the owner of the restaurant asked us to get up and sing a song because we had sung there previously. And when my husband was directing the band and telling them which key, the song was in that we were going to perform. And so I dedicated the song to him because my husband was a member of a group called the Stylistics back in the 70s.
Okay.
And he wrote the
who
song
they are.
with him, and he co-wrote the song, You Make Me Feel Brand New. So I definitely dedicated that to Joe that night, and that's how we became friends because he definitely made my husband feel brand new that night. So,
that is a beautiful story.
Yeah. So since then,
he's a good man, and he also played with the Commodores too,
Yeah,
right?
he was with the Commodores for 3 years, and then eventually he was with another group out of New York. We're from Philadelphia originally.
Okay.
And I used to do Broadway musicals back in the day in New York, and we met when I was home from a trip. I was a flight attendant with Pan Am, so I was home on a break. We met, and I sang a song with him at the piano, and somebody heard us, and they hired us like that. So I quit the airline and started performing with him for all these years. So.
Oh, that is an amazing story.
Yeah, so it's good to meet good people because we don't really know anybody in Vegas because we've been on cruise ships for 23 years. So you get kind of isolated.
Yes.
And we, like I said, we had a great team, but here it's like Joe's my team.
Well, I tell you that I think that what you're doing, and we have a friend named Mike Leonetti. I host his shows when he performs in Las Vegas. He's at the Ahern Hotel now, starting on May 18th. And unfortunately, I will not be here that day because I'll be in Belize. But he's a good guy, and I represent Mike Leonetti when it comes to hosting shows. And that's how I met Shelly and her husband,
right. At
Wesley.
Mike's Restaurant.
But
yeah.
But it's not about us right now. Right now, it's about this young lady.
Absolutely.
We have to get this young lady, on the show. We were one on the show. I mean, I met your beautiful daughter, man. And you and I were talking. We had lunch at the Joe Brown's.
Yes, I love
lunch
Joe
with
Brown.
Joe Brown. Joe Brown is like a godfather for me. He's always been there for me. He used to be a boxing commissioner, and I met him. Back in the 90s. In the early 20s, when I got into the International Hall of Fame in 2011, who was there in New York with me for the whole weekend? Joe Brown.
Joe Brown. Oh, he's wonderful.
He followed me all over. He treated me like if I was his son. I'm so honored.
That's wonderful.
He's a good man. And but I'm glad that when he told me about you, he said, Joe, Victoria, Seaman, she's running for mayor. Anything you can do to help her out? I said, sure. I want to put her on the show. It was his idea,
Oh, that's wonderful.
Because
I have to thank him for that.
Yeah, thank you, because he's a gentleman that has a heart of gold, as you well know.
He does.
He does. He's a retired, semi-retired attorney, or maybe retired attorney, but he's still got a little spark of the old flash.
He does. Oh,
got
he
a spark of the
does.
old man. Is always moving forward, always making things. He has a luncheon once a month, the first Wednesday of every month. I remember last year.
Same day as my council day.
Is that right? Wow.
Yes.
He called me one day and said, Joe, I want you to be a speaker at one of my lunches.
I was at that one.
You were at that one?
Yes, I went, because when it comes around to certain holidays, we'll skip the first Wednesday,
Right.
which is only maybe once or twice a year. But you were speaking that day.
It was the second Wednesday, because the first Wednesday of July last year was, figured, he said, Joe, people are going to be away for 4th of July weekend. So we're going to do, instead of doing it the 3rd, we're going to do it
the second.
The 12th, which is the second.
That's why I was there.
And that's why you were there, you see?
Yes. Because we have council the 1st and 3rd Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so either the 4th of July, if he has one, I can be, but that's right, because I told him I will be able to come because it's not the 1st. Yeah.
So he was happy to have me there.
You were a great speaker, by the way.
Thank you. I tried, a little talk a little bit about my career growing up.
Yeah, and I was happy to hear about it.
All growing up from Spanish Harlem in New York. And I talked to individuals out there that are watching you viewers out there. You got to remember that the way I grew up, and I talk about how I grew up from a single-parent home, and thank God I never got into any trouble. I got into a gang one time. I lasted one day. That was it. I said, no, that's not for me. And I don't want my mother to know that I was with a gang. Anyway, I joined the Boys Club of New York, and my brother was already a member of the Boys Club of New York. And that's when, back in 1960. And I became Golden Glove champion that year, along with my brother Mike. Then I won the 2nd Golden Glove championship, the 3rd, the 4th, 5th, and 6th championships, the nationals, and I was big. I kept myself out of gangs, out of drugs. I gave myself clean cut. They went in the Army when I was 18. So I've always tried to.
It's amazing.
I want my viewers to know that, you have to always believe in yourself and say that you can do anything. Don't let nothing bother you. Be positive. Take that negativity out of your head. Do like I do. I say I can do anything. I don't care what it is, I can do it. I've been in the medical field. I've been in the law enforcement field. I've been in the hospitality business. I've done it all, and I've got 3 great, beautiful daughters, and 4 great grandchildren. They're amazing, and I love sharing all my knowledge and wisdom with these young kids out there, and with a lot of seniors as well. I like to help out the seniors. I'm an individual, like I said. It's not about me. I like to just make sure that our people out there are getting served the right way. And I'm so glad that you're doing that, because you're my kind of people, that kind of people that are giving and caring and want to do the best for the community. And I'm so happy that you're running for mayor.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm so happy to know you.
Well.
And you, Shelly.
It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about, before we wrap it up with our show, we got about 5 minutes, so I would tell us a little bit what you think the changes you're going to make. We spoke a little bit about it. What else are you going to add on?
Well, I think we're in a time where if you look across the country in different cities, we have a rising crime and what we talked about, homelessness.
Right.
And you need a very bold leader right now in cities. Somebody that's going to be, I call myself the law and order mayor. That's what I'm going to be.
Okay.
It's very important that we have somebody who won't kick the issues down the road and who's going to tackle them head on. I'm that person. I'm not afraid. And I've always been that person to go in and tackle issues. Kind of like you when you go out there.
You're talking like a fighter.
Yeah,
I know.
I am a fighter. I'm a fighter for the people.
For the people, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you give him the 1-2 punch, you knock him down, and say, you're going to stay down, or we're going to do it the right way. You do it my way or the highway.
Well, maybe not a person, but when that problem comes flying.
Well, that's right. That's what I mean. The problem, not the person. But when you need that referee to count him out, I'll count him out for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever there's a bare problem, we're going to knock him dead.
Yeah, and as a businesswoman, because I didn't start out as a politician, and I don't like politicians, I consider myself a public servant. We have to solve issues. As business people, we can't kick it down the road. We got a problem. We got to fix it immediately. And government doesn't always work that way. But business people do. And that's my background. And that's why I believe, like you, that there is no issue that can't be solved. Exactly. There is no issue.
Exactly. There's a lot of individuals out there trying to get themselves started in life, but they don't know where to start. And I'm sure you're going to have some kind of a group established out there to give them, I know they got small business bureaus out there, but I'm talking about somebody one-on-one, like
mentorship.
Yes, some kind of a mentorship. You could guide them in the right direction, how to get started in business. A lot of individuals want to make money. They say, but I don't have no money to even start out. How do I start? But they got programs out there.
We do.
Programs where we can help them get on the right track.
That's right.
And how to invest money to do it the right way.
We have a lot of startups.
Exactly. Because, that's what we need out there. We need individuals like the Councilwoman Seaman, who's talking about getting you on the right track, helping the city to get to another level. We're one of the fastest growing cities in the nation. Las Vegas is unbelievable. With over 60 million tourists come here a year, tells you about how much they care, how much they love Las Vegas. And having the Councilwoman Victoria Seaman making some changes, there's always room for improvement. I don't care what it is. You could be the best mayor in the world, but I always say you can always go to one more notch. And this is what Mrs. Seaman is trying to bring together for you guys to make sure that Nevada, especially the city of Nevada, Las Vegas, grows to be the best in the country. It's really pretty much out there. The crime
we're the crown jewel of the West.
That's right. Now, the crime here in Las Vegas right now, how bad is the crime right now?
So it's mostly property crimes right now. We have an amazing police force, as you know. Our law enforcement is one of the best in the countries. Our homicide department has about a 98% solvability rate. So
that's great.
The average is between 40 and 60%. So we're doing great. But property crimes are up. And I attribute that to our legislature, who does not want to hold criminals accountable for crimes. You can walk into a store and take $1,100 worth of merchandise, and if you're caught, maybe get a citation. So when we don't hold our criminals accountable, you're going to have a lot of property crimes. And that's what we're seeing the uptick in across the country and here in Las Vegas.
Yeah. So you guys out there watching and listening today, keep your guards up at all time. And I hope if I was you, get yourself a good German Shepherd. Keep him on the front door all the time.
Dogs do deter criminals. So I urge everybody to go out and adopt a dog, adopt a pet. I'm a big animal lover.
Of course.
And I've worked really hard with making sure we have a world-class shelter. We will have a world-class shelter because we are now putting out an RFP after decades of problems with our shelter. I've worked on that for 2 years, and our animals are really important to me.
Exactly. Well, you're in the animal shelter, the ASPCA programs
They're
out there.
wonderful.
They're wonderful. They're doing a lot of things out there. But we have to make sure that we keep going in the right direction to making this city better. And a Councilwoman Seaman is going to promise you the best. She wants the best for the city. She's a good friend, and so is her daughter. And we just want to say thank you so much for joining us today.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And if people want to know more about me, they can go to my website at victoriaseaman.com.
victoriaseaman.com. okay, running for mayor. And anybody wants to make any donations,
VictoriaSeaman.com.
okay, and they want to help out with your campaign, VictoriaSeaman.com. Call them up and tell we're there. We got the doors open for you. All you volunteers come out there and help you out.
Thank you for having me, and such a pleasure to meet you,
Such a
Shelly.
pleasure. I look forward to the day when you run for president.
Okay, we'll see you guys
Thank
next
you.
week. See you next week. Take care. God bless.
Thank you.